welcome to this year's virtue practice. Now, I was not intending necessarily to do 5 years of the virtues. It's unfolded as we have gone along, and in many ways 3 years of working as we have would have been enough to really create a firm foundation of how the virtues work in us. But with the world as it is, and the form of which we've been following, it felt very significant to support our times by working with another year of the virtues. So far we've worked with the realm of thinking in the first year, where one weighs and observes and places real effort into thinking about how these virtues live in us, whether they are stronger or weaker, and how we find a way to balance them. The next year we focus much more on the will of the virtue and the activity of practicing a virtue each month and engaging in an actual way of bringing it into our daily lives. And the third year we followed the feeling aspect of the virtue, giving what we ourselves have as virtues, because in a certain way we are offering the world the virtues, the capacities that live in us. And those first 3 really work with how we ourselves are cultivating the virtue in us and how we bring that virtue to the world. So creating capacities and offering those capacities has been the focus of the first 3 years. Now, if you're new to the virtues, you can certainly step in at this point, because we're working in a very different way, although it comes of the sequence of activities connected to the 6 archetypal streams. The first 3 are how we grow capacity, but in this 4th year's practice, we're working with positivity and how we perceive the virtue in the world around us. And this is, as you can quite imagine, not as easy when the world seems so full of struggle, and yet more of a necessity when we see the struggles going on in the world and in the community and in everybody's lives, that we continue to seek the virtues at work. But in this exercise of positivity, we're looking for where we see it in a way in the other. Where do I experience this capacity, this virtue, outside of myself? Once we have worked with that, we'll go ahead and follow the stream that links us to positivity. Those of you that know these exercises already will know that each of the exercises we've been following is not just the inner activity, but how that affects the stream or the flow of forces because of that participation. And so we've been consciously building that stream or flow of forces that occur because of the participation in the activity of our soul into the virtue. The reflection is the forces that shift in us because of it. We could just take this example of the smile exercise. If you close your eyes and concentrate on a part of your body, let's say your toes, and observe if you can make your toes smile. Now, it's always good to smile yourself to get a sense of what smiling is like, again, because it's a very important activity that's not just in the quality of smiling, but what are the flow of forces that respond to the smile. Now, this exercise, this smile exercise, can really help us to understand this nature. If I use my consciousness to put my attention on my calves, the calves in my legs, and see if I can help them to smile. Now, the attention creates the will to move the calves so that they're no longer gripped, but they're smiling. But once they start to smile, you'll also feel a kind of responding, lightful, maybe effervescent movement of the flow of energy in the body. You can try your knees. Focus your attention on your knees and see if you can make the knees smile. We're not just relaxing the body, but by the quality of the smile, the intention of the smile, there's also a reflective activity in the flow of the energy, the life activity that responds to the conscious, active intention to smile. We then can bring our attention to our upper legs, our thighs. See if we can help our thighs to smile. And then our attention to our whole pelvic area. And see if we can get the pelvis, the buttocks, that whole area to smile. Now, before you move on, bring your attention back again to the feet, to the toes, to the calves, to the knees. Just see that everything is still smiling. And we're getting a glimpse of this double movement. My attention to something, my will to bring a change, and then the after effects of this movement of energy. A lightness, a flow, an effervescence, a warmth. And this is the secondary response. Let's move on with the smile exercise. We move our attention into the abdomen, the lower belly, and let that smile. The lower back. See if we can make that smile. And when I say make, it's not a hard will, it's a releasing. Smiling is such an important avenue towards this positivity. And then we move to the stomach area and we see if we can get that to smile, the middle back. And then into the chest and the upper back. And you can be aware of parts of your body that struggle to smile and maybe bring more attention to that. And those that really smile quite easily. And then your attention comes into your shoulders. And let the shoulders smile. And the upper arms, the forearms, and the hands. We bring the attention into our neck and throat, allowing that to smile into our face, even our ears, our eyes, the top of our head. And in this state of active restfulness, through the activity of smiling, there is a different quality of the flow of energy in our body. Now, I wanted to add that exercise for the very reason that positivity does something on a very profound level, not just for our soul life, but for our etheric life, for the life forces that stream through us. And so as we follow this year through, we are going to seek the virtues, each connected to each month, in the world around us. Now, you may see other virtues appear and not the one of the month that you're working with, and that's also absolutely fine. You may feel somebody is in your world and they are filled with a quality of courage, but we're not actually working yet with Capricorn. But let's just keep an eye out for each of the virtues each month, because in this seeking the positive, we really begin to see the world in a different way. And there is this reality that we will begin to see more of it. Even if to begin with we may find, it's so hard to see faithfulness in the world. But as you seek it, through the course of the month, you'll see more of it. And then we will follow the stream of that positivity flow. And that is, you recall seeing the virtue outside of you coming from the other. Now, it's possible that if you don't perceive it in another person, you can perceive it in the world in other ways. It may be not streaming from another human being, but in something that is coming from the world still. Sometimes, for instance, we might experience faithfulness in observing a mountain range, and that may sound strange, but it is a quality of virtue that emanates from our landscape or from nature. But I would suggest you still seek it in human beings, and if you can't find it there, look at the animal world, look at the plant world, look at the mineral world, because it is there. It is there. Faithfulness is there. Where will we find it? So through the course of the month, we will seek it. And then in the actual exercise, at the end of the day or any point during the day, you will bring to mind the virtue you discovered, that you saw, that you perceived, and you remember it and re-experience it. Then you follow the stream of allowing that to come in through your being. Imagine your whole skin is porous, and that every cell of the skin can absorb that quality, that virtue. And you allow it to stream into it, centers in your heart. And then that stream goes up out of your heart, through your eyes and into the world around you. Now, this exercise is so full of a reality that what lives in our hearts actually is what streams into the world around us. And, sometimes you can see this particularly in young children. If you ever watch a small child looking at the world, particularly at a loved one, a mother, a father, a caregiver, and you can actually see this stream coming from them, a stream in a way of love to the world around them, and this caring that comes into them and then out of their eyes to the world around them. It's one of the most beautiful things. And yet we block that stream, or at least we no longer register it, because we get caught in the outer sense world, and we don't follow the fact that these effects between the world, the outer world, and our inner world, and our inner world and the outer world are in constant relationship. So over the course of this year, we will really try to develop that connection and develop really the extraordinary activity of what positivity does for our own life, and therefore for the life of the world around us, because we participate in it. Welcome to this year. If you haven't done the 3 previous years, that's absolutely fine with this exercise. You can enter straight in to this positivity. However, you may wish to go back and participate in one of the other years, which can be done simultaneously. But the actual course that we're going through for each month, we'll be working with positivity from the environment, whether it be from people or places or circumstances, which we allow in through our skin, out of our hearts, and through our gaze towards the world. And as we gaze towards the world with that positivity, we will certainly find more and more things that light up that smile in us. And there is no real greater joy than experiencing these facets of love, these virtues in the other. And I hope that you really get to experience that and grow that through the course of this year. So welcome to this year's virtue practice. And I really support what we're trying to do here. Thank you.
I am the one who shines through you when you